Please welcome Leos Novotny.
Pardon, ta prezentace? All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you for the warm welcome. I'm honored to be able to speak to you today, and I hope I'll be able to implant some unorthodox ideas into your minds with regards to public transportation. Because what I want to talk to you today about is that as opposed to the common understanding of the public, the transportation can be sustainable without state involvement. This is a very bold statement, and I will use this hour to try and explain to you why I think this is the case, and why we are in this business, which is really exciting, and we see huge potential in public transportation becoming an absolute normal, open, and profitable business for the respective players. As was said earlier, I founded Leo Express 3 years ago through my investment company, which I run for 5 years now. I previously worked in investment banking, and that's where I got, let's say, the necessary know-how to be able to raise funding for private equity projects. And as one of the projects, we currently operate Leo Express. The underlying idea of starting Leo Express was that I saw that there is a huge mismatch in what today's technology offers and enables operators to do. This is on the cost side, whereby we see that you can really operate trains much more efficiently than is currently the case under the state incumbents. And the other is that we saw a huge mismatch in the product offering. We saw that we can do it much cheaper and at the same time provide a lot better service, thereby, have a margin on to make profit and to repay the financing which we had to raise for the project. So after a couple of iterations in our investment company, in the investment boards, where we approved the investments, we have found the courage and invested significant amounts of money into starting a brand new railway company. And today, 3 years later, I am super happy and excited that we've made that decision, because it really, the more I work in the business, I see more and more potential in competing with the state companies. I see how inefficiently they are run. I see how corrupt they are, and how lazy they are in what they do, and it is just so easy for a private company to take market shares from the state-run incumbents, because we care. Every day we go into improving the product and lowering our costs, and I think the customers really appreciate that. We have grown to be a very popular brand among certain groups of customers, and we see great support from investors and banks who understand our vision. And I can also say that after having had difficult times in the very beginning, whereby we were faced with something I'm going to talk to you about later on, which is a strong reaction, a very, very aggressive reaction from the state company. We managed to refinance the business, because obviously, as I will explain, we were not able to to basically repay all the loans. We were repaying only partially, so we had to restructure the financing. Had found great support with the banks, who understood that, you know, it's a tough business with huge potential, and they gave us some grace period, which I also talk about. So basically, well, I think for most of you this will be invisible, so don't worry, I won't disrupt you with something that you can't see, and I'll just say it. The first phase of the project is basically that we are starting intercity transportation with trains in between major cities in Central and Eastern Europe. We have done so now on 2 routes. We're starting a third one in December this year, whereby we transport about over 1 million passengers per year on about 2.4 million kilometers per year, and we want to roll that simply onto a route, a map of routes which I wanted to show you, but that's pretty much a route of the 3 Central European countries: Poland, Slovakia, and the Czech Republic, and it connects the capitals with the big regional hubs. The second phase of the project is basically scaling the operations into the bus transportation market, whereby we are now teaming up and aligning our business models with the regional bus operators, because we see that one of the main disadvantages which we have against the state-run monopolists is that we don't have as wide a network as they do. So we are basically competing with them on this by integrating bus operators into our service, and thereby providing a complex solution with combination of 2 tickets in one, so you can get from your local town or village to wherever our train stops, and then continue onwards. This is probably more visible. This is saying that we were able to. I mean, here on the left, you can see what I just said. So there's like small towns which are served by buses. By the way, I didn't mention that we now have about 1,100 buses in such cooperation, and this number is constantly growing, because for these operators it's very beneficial to team up with us and co-brand with us, because we do national marketing, and for them also it's we improve their product on board. We optimize their online sales. We actually provide them our technology, our online sales technology. We brand it Leo Express or co-brand it with their regional brand, and we sell together. And that's actually creating incremental new sales for them as well as for us, and helps both parties. What it says on the right is that you see those yellow dots. Imagine them as being two regional towns, and the straight line would be a rail link, a rail line, where there is an average of, let's say, under our analysis, we see there is about 20 passengers on a train on average, whereby this train has a seating capacity of 150 passengers, and the municipality or the region subsidizes such a train operation with about 150 Czech crowns on average. What we're saying is that there's always a bus alternative going connecting those two cities, and sometimes even more efficient for the passengers, because the bus can stop in factories, in industrial areas. It can stop in the city centers, whereby sometimes the rail stops are beyond the towns. And we see that the bus also subsidized by the region is also transporting these 20 passengers on average, has a seating capacity of 50, but only costs the region 26 Czech crowns, so less than a euro per kilometer. What we're saying is to the politicians that they should look into canceling about 60% of their train transportation in their regions, and they would be adequately served by the bus transportation, which will basically save them dozens of millions of Czech crowns per region, because they're going to be saving all the subsidies on the rail line, and they will be left with the bus operation, whereby the 20 passengers from the train simply step in the bus where there is still enough capacity on the bus. The bus will be better used, and it will only cost them 8 times less per kilometer. As politicians, they will still be able to provide the public transportation which they are providing today, and they're going to save a lot of money. And I'm not saying this to them just from altruist reasons. I'm telling this to them because, on one hand, this is actually minimizing or scaling down the operation of our main competitor, which is the state railway. So that's one thing that I want to do. And next is that the bus, obviously, is part of our network, and so we want to move the passengers from those cancelled trains into our buses. Simple as that. What you can see on the bottom right is the logic behind this all, which I seem to be finding a lot of support with the owners of the regional bus companies, whereby I'm telling them, look, you as an owner of a bus company, you have 200 buses in this region. Every 5 years, you have to compete for the concession, such that you are subsidized by the region, and that's something you don't wanna continue doing, right? Is that something that you enjoy doing every 5 years? Lobbying the regional government, and I hope you're lobbying them legally to give you the concession for the next 5 years. Is that something you like doing, and is that something, being dependent on them, is that something that you like? Obviously, the answer is no. And when I tell them, okay, so why don't you come onto our platform? Why don't you use our technology? Because typically these bus operators, they're owned by people who privatize these companies in every single district or region of the country. This is valid for Poland, Slovakia, Czech Republic, and they are, let's say, they're not very innovative. Sometimes they don't even have a website. You cannot really buy their tickets online, or you cannot find their schedule online. Simply, they don't care as much, because their customer is the regional government, and as long as they get this 5-year contract, they're fine. And I'm telling them they should not be fine. I'm telling them, they should basically develop their own product, become popular with the actual customers, have work for their loyalty, and increase the number or the proportion of revenue that they get directly from their customers vis-a-vis the regional government subsidy. So this is the yellow bit, whereby year by year our intention is to be able to increase the proportion of direct sales through our platform for the operator, and thereby be able to minimize the subsidy for those operators. Basically, the way it's going to work is that with our onboard service on the bus, such as we provide them with free daily press, the passengers they get into our loyalty program. They can buy their tickets online or in a mobile app. This is all under our technology platform, and we believe that this will be able to grow the bus operators' revenue by, let's say, 10% per annum. And obviously, when the regional government sees this at the end of the year, they're gonna come to the operator and tell him, look, you made 10% more. We're gonna cut your subsidy by 10%. This seemingly is something that the bus operators would not want to risk. But I'm telling them offensively, you do want to do that because these revenues which go through our platform are actually under your direct control. And at the end of a 5-year period, we're going to be able to you're going to be able to have majority of your sales dependent from your product and from your direct distribution channels, and you'll be less dependent on the subsidies, which in turn means that you'll be super competitive in the next tender. Yeah, the more revenues you have under your own control, the less subsidy you need, and the more competitive you are in the next tender that there is. And long term, I mean decades, I would say, I believe that there's the concept could be completely sustainable independently from subsidies, because what I'm telling them to do is whenever there is a bus which runs 8 passengers on average with a 50-seat capacity, they don't care that they are using too much of a bus. And what I'm telling them is you could scale down the bus to have a smaller one, and with 8 passengers, with a 12-seater, you'll be profitable. So that's the bus logic. Another map, invisible, so I'll skip that. So this is just a statement where we're saying that the state, this is for the Czech Republic, but this is valid universally. Every citizen subsidizes the Czech state railways by about 400 Czech crowns per year, irrespective of whether they travel by train or bus or car or don't travel at all. And we're saying that this number could be significantly lower if the state and the regional governments would listen to our disruptive ideas. Now, this is a very interesting slide, probably not so visible, so I'll just walk you through it. This is saying that all over the world there is typically, train transportation is operated by state railways, and we're just showing you that on the left side you have the cost per kilometer. Yeah, you have the Canadian Via Rail, you have the American Amtrak, you have the French state railways, the German, and you can see the costs per kilometer, with 55 euros on the top, with 5 euros on the bottom. On the bottom is Leo Express, is our company. Yeah, so we're saying that we can really move people for a lot less than the state railway companies in general, and on the right hand side you can see the service standard, yeah, where we're listing the offering that the state railways, so the Romanian state railway, the Hungarian, Polish, Czech, French, and listing it all up towards a private operator, Leo Express. So this is the disruption. Yeah, you can see it all over the world, whereby, I mean, it was mentioned today as well that the new business, the technological business, is is actually somehow able to disrupt the conventional businesses by being super low cost, but still somehow managing to provide a better service. And the same thing is happening in the railway sector now. This is just a comparison within the Czech Republic. So cost comparison 12 to 5. For those of you who have not traveled with our trains yet, this is how they look, and that's how it looks inside. We sell a lot online, 75% of our sales online, which is the cheapest way to sell and also most convenient for the passengers. And we believe, again, this is something that, if you compare this number with the typical state railway, you would see a number between 15-20%. We have a lot of loyal passengers. We're a very popular brand, I would say, in the Czech Republic. We have 44,000 Facebook fans and a lot of mobile app users. And we have a lot of people who think it's cool to travel with Leo Express. And whenever they get on board, they take a selfie and they post it up their social network accounts. And that's exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to provide service for those who actually care what they eat, where they live, what they wear. We're a service for people who care about quality and care about value for money, and who like modern technology, nice design, good ambience in and around the complete service. What I want to talk to you today about is that we're saying to the politicians that that they should let us do what we do and do less of what they do. Yeah. Basically, trying to prove to them that wherever there is private competition, which unfortunately is not so frequent yet in Europe or globally, there's only, as far as I know, there's only about 10 companies globally who are operating trains and buses in combination without any state subsidies. So this is a very new segment. It's only been opened up a couple of years ago here in the European Union, and we've used that opportunity as one of the 4 first companies in Europe, and there is now 5 of us in Europe who are basically doing the same thing in Italy, in Germany, in Austria, the Czech Republic. Czech Republic actually is a funny example whereby we have 2 private operators and a state operator. In the other countries, you have typically just one. So far, just one. Actually, in Italy now recently there's 2 as well. And what we're saying is that wherever there is private competition, the market actually grows. Yeah, where we compete for passengers. With our competitors, we actually improve the service, and the better the service, the more people are going to come and say, actually, now I've heard that the service is this much higher than it used to be, and at these prices, then it actually does bring them from their cars or from flying actually into trains, and statistics also work in our favor here. We know that the Central European passengers typically only travel about 400 kilometers per capita in a year, and Austria, which is as small a country as the Czech Republic, and similar in the distances between the cities, has 3-fold this number. Yeah, so an Austrian travels 1,200 kilometers per year, what we're saying is that this will come. I mean, this will come here as well. It's inevitable. It's like, you know, everything goes. I mean, all the know-how is and the technology and the living standards are sort of moving from the west towards the east, and we strongly believe that, you know, there is huge potential for the railway transportation market and the public transportation market in general to increase manifold. Yeah, and what we're saying is that we're a potential big saving for the state and for the regional governments if they let us do and operate on more routes. We will be able to prove to them that we can do the same service which was there operated by the state, but we can do it with a lot less. I'll show you on a couple slides later. This is actually the one thing that really made me like European Union, where they have said and they have implemented, you know, opening up of the market after 150 years of the markets being closed and operated by state railways. They opened up the market, and when we read the policies, we felt confident enough that the policy is not going to change towards, you know, I mean, if we invest and if we start operating and we grow the business, we felt confident enough that the European Union is not going to change their mind and say, okay, we made a mistake. We actually want the railway transportation to be operated by state, sort of. So we use that window of opportunity, and so far, I'm trying to find the right words not to make anybody angry, but I mean, there is a mismatch again between what is written and what we try to enforce and play by, and what is actually being done in Brussels, where we've obviously raised the issue many times, and I'm getting used to, you know, this bureaucratic world being very slow and very alibistic, and so whenever I meet them, it's a lot of you know, positive and encouraging statements, but I think there's more action that needs to be taken. This is showing you the typical reaction of a state railway, whereby when we started operating here in the Czech Republic, they reduced their price by 64% to try and basically push us out of the market. Yeah, as a startup, obviously, we were ready from the very beginning to subsidize the first years of operation with equity from investors. So this only made the situation worse because we were estimating that they would decrease their price by 30%, and had they decreased the price by 30%, we would have been about 30% EBITDA margin profitable. So that's why we're doing the investments in the first place, because we see that if the state railways operate at cost, we will be super profitable. If they reduce their prices by 30%, we'll be posting very nice profits, and if they do what they did on the first route in the Czech Republic, short term we have to live with the fact that on that particular line, we're not yet posting profits. But the good news is that on the next lines where we operate, we are profitable, and we are proving to the world that this this idea of mine actually works. We can operate modern trains without state subsidies and be profitable. If the state doesn't go crazy and illegal against us, as they did on the very first line where we started operating. Now we're not. This is another invisible slide, but it's showing state railway cost per kilometer on many Czech lines, and it shows that on the lines where there is competition, where we operate, it's actually the first line. I should be more precise. So on the first line where we started up between Prague and northeast of the country, Czech Railways are operating at 0.85 Czech crowns per kilometer for the passenger. Yeah. So you as a passenger have to pay this per kilometer. On all the other lines, including our next lines, they are operating at somewhere between 1.35 to 3.7. And that's their cost. Yeah, that's their cost. And on those lines where we started competing with them, they did not dare again to dump the price, and that's where we're happily operating competing with them and posting profits. But on the first line there is a conflict. There is still a dumping situation. Very interesting for you to know is that they operate trains for these prices to passengers, and so imagine they get 1 crown per kilometer from you as a passenger, but very importantly they get another 2 crowns from the state. Yeah, and what we're doing is we're operating for one crown. So this is really the difference that we can make to the state budget if allowed. This slide is basically saying that if they were decreasing the price so significantly, that must mean that either before competition they were super profitable and they were overcharging the passenger, or it means that they were misusing or sort of fiddling with the state subsidies. And we are now raising this to the European Union. We have been able to get their attention in three investigations against the Czech state railways. And again, very very warm words from the Commission. Not as much action, very slow, but we're hopeful that they will see what is obvious and support us. Now this is Poland. This is basically just saying that we're entering Poland next year, and we've had a lot of obstacles, barriers, even situations, personal, which were not really, welcoming. But we still do the business because we believe it's going to be good. Now, this is just a summary. This is just a summary of the situation that we now have on the legal sphere. We have filed these 3 investigations with the European Commission. We have sued the state railway for loss of profit on the first line. Yeah, we were considering other legal steps. The good news is here that from many people in the community here in this country, including some managers in the state railways and some bureaucrats in the ministry, we are now getting more and more sort of understanding. They actually, they do acknowledge the facts, And it's not the majority now, so it's going to still take some time for us to lobby this through. Basically, win the court, or with the European Commission, or find some kind of a out-of-court settlement with the state railway. But the inevitable long-term solution is that there is going to be an equilibrium, a coexistence of the private and the state, whereby the state will find a new role in what they were doing previously, and wherever it's possible that a private investor will invest into modern technology and operate a better service without any subsidies. I believe that we will be seeing more and more private transportation companies doing this business. So this is it. Thank you for your attention.